Notice anything different? Is it my hair? Did I get a new no? There's something different about this scene. Maybe it's this big, huge black thing that's blocking like a huge chunk of my screen. Because somebody came into the living room right before I started, handed me a wrapped present, and said, Happy first day of Hanukkah. So while I insisted that I wanted to wait and open the present with all the other presents on Christmas Day, because nobody else was getting presents tonight, this handsome fella insisted I unwrap, and guess what it was? A new microphone. So I guess that makes me officially doing this YouTube thing now, I guess, ish. So yay! So this is my public thank you to my fantastic life partner, the man that I do all my shenanigans with, and I am so happy to have by my side. Thank you, baby, for the new microphone. It's beautiful. And I'm sure you guys will notice the sound improvement. So it just so happens that today is the first day of Hanukkah. And while I've never celebrated Hanukkah and I'm just now learning about it, I would like to extend my happy Hanukkahs out to everybody in celebration of the first day of Hanukkah. Hello, everyone. I am Laura, and this is Unapologetically Me. It has been a few weeks since we've chit-chatted, hasn't it? I have been so busy finishing up the very last class of my bachelor's degree in cultural anthropology. It's been a lot of fun, but it hasn't left me a whole heck of a lot of free time to do any recording. So, I'm popping on really quick without any real plan in mind to just throw out a really quick video on how I'm celebrating the holidays. Because, yes, on top of the research project and the rest of life, there's the holiday season. And on top of the holiday season is COVID. So I'm here to chit chat just for a few quick minutes about what we're doing this holiday season and about how I approach the holidays as an atheist. But before I proceed, can you do me a favor? Can you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button? And please also leave me any comments in the comment section below. So, this episode is going to be off the cuff, unscripted, just me chit chatting about how I handle the holidays. So, as you guys have probably heard, there's this pandemic going around, and it's kind of cramping everyone's style. So, the big question around this holiday season is what do we do with family? Do we all get together? Do we take it safe and just not meet this time? Do we Zoom with each other? Do we gather in smaller groups? How do we celebrate the holidays in the midst of a pandemic? So, we made the decision this Thanksgiving to not visit with friends and family. And we disappointed a few people, but I think all in all, everybody kind of understood. And those that wanted to get together got together, and those of us who didn't want to kept our distance. And so it was a really nice, quaint, fun Thanksgiving. And we're going to pretty much do a repeat like that for Christmas. So, no fancy friends or family, just me, the hubs, the kids, and lots of food and presents. But we're going to take a really great opportunity. We are going to spend this month learning about the other holidays that happen during December that we normally haven't really paid as much attention to. So we went on and Googled and made ourselves a nice little list of all the holidays, all their dates, where they came from, and we're kind of going through them one by one. So, in light of COVID taking away a lot of our family fun and a lot of our traditions, and since we're kind of stuck at home, not doing as much as we would normally be doing during this time of year, we decided to go ahead and do little mini celebrations for all the different holidays in December. Learn about them, partake in some of the activities, cook some of the recipes, do some arts and crafts. So we are starting with Hanukkah, and today was the first day. So we celebrated today first by learning a little bit about Hanukkah, where it came from, the fact that it's a Jewish holiday, why it's important to them, how they celebrate it. And then we made our own homemade menorahs that we'll use for the next 8 days. These are arts and craftsy menorahs, not actual candles. So I gave the kids broad directions. Here's what a menorah looks like, and here's what it represents, and here's what I want it to do for the next 8 days. And they came up with their own ways of creating their menorah. So my daughter made one out of cardboard and painted it, and she's going to glue on a little painted flame each day of the week. And my son made one out of Legos, and he's going to put a little yellow Lego piece on the top of each Lego candle one day at a time. So for now, their menorahs have their day one lit, and they have the little master candle lit. and each day they're going to add to it. So that's our first little arts and craft, and we're going to go over other things throughout the next 8 days. And we're definitely going to be cooking some freaking awesome food and doing some fun arts and crafts. And this is to sort of learn more about the cultural practices of other people, kind of see what they're about, and partake in some of the fun. And it's also just to give us something exciting to focus on and new and fun when we can't be with friends and family and when we're not doing all those normal things that we would be doing during the holiday season. So this is going to be really exciting for us. But what does Christmas normally look like for me? So I've celebrated Christmas my entire life, but I wasn't religious my entire life. So Christmas for me has always been different than it is for most Christians. When I was young, we learned Christmas from a very secular perspective. There was a lot of Santa, a lot of presents, um, but there wasn't any teachings about Jesus or really what the Christian roots of the holiday were. I mean, I'd heard songs like Silent Night and Away in a Manger and Little Drummer Boy, and I knew that those songs related to Christmas, and I knew that Christmas related to something about this baby Jesus story, but I was too young to really know what, and my parents didn't teach it, so it was all just kind of wrapped up in the broader tradition, and it didn't really hold much meaning to me. So that was my Christmas as a child. It was fun, it was magical, it was full of Christmas trees, Christmas cookies, food, lights, family, and it was just really a special time of year for me. When I became a Christian, the Christmas holiday really changed for me, and not necessarily for the better. It's actually a little bit odd how Christianity actually changed and warped the Christmas season for me in such a, I wouldn't say negative way, but it took away a lot of the magic and the glee. I really struggled with the Christmas holiday that I was brought up with that now came to be known to me as a very pagan expression of the Christian holiday and the Christian teachings. And I became a little bit of a, I guess, a purist, I would say, where I got a little resentful. Christmas was supposed to be about Jesus, not about all the presents. It was supposed to be about love and family and blessings and not about food and commercialism and Christmas trees. I even struggled with whether or not to have a Christmas tree, given its pagan roots and given Christianity's clear guidance against all that stuff. Naturally, we showered them with gifts, and they still got that magical Christmas experience because I just couldn't take that away from myself and I couldn't take that away from them. But there was an internal struggle there that's a little bit impressive for how much I didn't want to be doing the thing that I was doing and how guilty I felt doing it. But I'm happy to report that while I was Christian, Christmas didn't die altogether. Moving along to my Muslim years, Christmas really became a struggle to me because now not only was it a pagan holiday celebrated by Christians, and from my perspective, incorrectly, it was also a Christian holiday, and I wasn't Christian. And Muslim teachings are all about not worshiping the wrong thing, not doing the wrong activities, not partaking in celebrations. So Islam really discourages celebrating other holidays, especially holidays that focused on the worship of anything other than God. So here was this holiday worshiping Jesus and his birthday and really focusing on the birth of what Christians would call the Savior, but what Muslims call just another prophet. So it was a huge struggle whether or not we should even celebrate Christmas. Those are probably the hardest Christmases, both for me and for my family. Because again, we still did gift giving, but we made it super small. We still had a tree, but we made it literally super small. We tried to upplay the Eids, the holidays that are celebrated by Muslims. We tried to make those a big deal for our kids and for our family and tried to have people over and really play it up so that the magic that we felt on Christmas could be felt during those Eid holidays. I'm not sure that was entirely successful in terms of the magical feeling because I'm not sure that was entirely there. It wasn't a tradition that was normal to me in my culture. It was something that we were adopting and trying out. Kind of like how we're doing Hanukkah now, only at the time we were adopting it because we were Muslim. Whereas now we're observing it from a secular perspective to try and learn a little bit about the culture. That sense of magic and wonder just wasn't quite there. So I remember a conversation with my mom where I was talking about how I didn't want to celebrate Christmas because it was a Christian holiday that they had stolen from the pagans, and it's not good to celebrate that holiday. I also struggled with it being considered Jesus' birthday when he really wasn't born in December, and all about the focus that it puts on on Jesus and the miraculous birth and how I didn't believe any of that. And that maybe I shouldn't be celebrating it because I didn't believe in any of that. And she really put it in perspective for me. She was like, Laura, growing up, Christmas was never about Jesus for you. It was about family. It was about tradition. It was about being together and having fun during that time of year. And it was never a big deal. So Christmas is what you want to make it. And you don't have to make it about all that religious stuff. You can still be a Muslim or whatever you want to be. And you can still celebrate Christmas as a family holiday, as a family tradition. It's more about the traditions that you build with your family members and with your children than it is about all that historical background garbage. Just enjoy it. Just have fun. And that sunk in enough that I think it saved Christmas for us and it pulled it through those Muslim years, even if just a little bit, even if it was tainted and not quite as magical as it could have been. Now, however, as an atheist, I've really gotten to have fun with the holiday. So this is my holiday now. It's whatever I want it to be. So we get to do the Christmas tree, and we know it's not a Christian symbol. We know it's a pagan symbol, at least from this atheist's perspective. The pagan roots of the holiday really just make it more deep, more exciting, more rich, and it gives us more to talk about, more to learn. We get to have fun with the lights, the candy canes, the cookies, the baking, and not feel guilty about whether or not we really should be focusing more on Jesus. Really not worry about whether or not we're being sacrilegious. So I do the stockings, I do the Christmas tree, I do the presents, I do the caroling. I don't even care if it's a Christian carol, as long as it's one of the ones that I'm familiar with, because again, it's more about my past and how I connect to the music than it is about what the music actually represents. And yeah, that might be a little bit hypocritical, but I don't believe in throwing the baby out with the bathwater. If there's bits and pieces that are good, I'm going to take them and I'm going to enjoy them. But one thing I'm not going to do is worry about how I should or shouldn't be spending the Christmas season. So, Christmas for me went from magical to a little bit confusing to downright controversial. And in the last few years, it's been back to being magical. And I like it there. I like it where it's at. As usual, I'll be teaching my kids about the Christian holiday, about the pagan roots of the Christian holiday, about the secular practices of the holiday, and everything in between. We're also going to talk about all the other holidays that are celebrated in December and try some out. We're going to see what new traditions we might find, or what traditions we can just learn a little bit more about and appreciate. And I'm excited for that. So, what are your thoughts on the holidays? How do you celebrate them? Are you an atheist that celebrates Christmas? Are you a Christian that doesn't celebrate Christmas? Are you a Jew that celebrates Hanukkah? Are you a Christian that observes Hanukkah? Are you a secular person who just picks and chooses whatever holidays you feel like observing whenever? How do you feel about the holidays? How do you feel about how COVID is treating the holidays? I want to know all about your thoughts in the comments below. So, whatever you do this holiday season, I hope you're safe. I hope you have fun. I hope you're surrounded by loved ones. And I hope you have a community that you can really connect with this time of year, whether for the holidays or just for all this COVID bullshit. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe. Please like and leave your comments below. And I will do my best to continue to be unapologetically me. Thank you guys for now. Bye.